Welcome to episode 14 of Transition Takes, the show that apologizes for not having a pod last week. Thank you for tuning in. If you end up enjoying the show, please like, subscribe, hit the bell, share the video with your mom. I would like to thank the sponsor of today's episode, DUBBY, your taste buds' favorite energy drink. You can get yours today at dubby.com. Use code XMASON for 10% off at checkout. Roberts, how's your day treating you?
Good. I'm tired, but good.
Why are you tired?
I've just been up for a while.
For how long? Approximately.
Like,
and by approximately, I mean to the second.
13 hours?
And how many minutes?
Like 13 hours exactly, basically.
Oh, okay. Well, I really don't care. I want to get to the show.
You asked, asshole.
I don't think I did. All right, we're going to push through the downtime of sports. There's still plenty to talk about. Today's show has a theme. I want everyone to try and pick up on that theme and put your guess in the comments. All right. All right, to start today's show, I'm going to run down some of the major headlines in the NFL. Coming off his first year starting, throwing 32 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, and 4,159 yards with a 96.1 rating, Jordan Love signed a 4-year, $220 million extension. I really hope that they were wrong. They don't deserve 3 great quarterbacks in a row. All right, coming off his first healthy season, where he threw 29 touchdowns, 14 interceptions, 4,624 yards with a 101.1 rating. That was really impressive English by me. Tua turned the ball over, signs 4-year, $212 million extension. Let me just throw out, we'll probably do a deal or no deal, and these will be included on a different show. But let me just say, Jordan Love's agent is an absolute savage for getting him more money than Tua got.
Off of 1 year.
Yeah. Good job, buddy. After his first season in Chicago, saw him have career highs in catches, yards, and touchdowns with 96 catches, 1,364 yards, and 8 touchdowns. DJ Moore signed a 4-year, $110 million extension.
I didn't even see that.
Yeah, look at that. Breaking news for Devin. After being a model of consistency for the Green Bay Packers since being drafted in 2016, 2023 saw Kenny Clark record a career high in sacks, 7.5, and that gets him a 3-year, $64 million extension with Green Bay.
Well deserved.
In other news, the Dallas Cowboys were reported to have sent Dak and CD both offers, and both seemingly have been declined. Dak and CD still have not signed. Dallas remains incompetent. It is inevitable that Higgins will not be a Bengal after the season ends. The thought behind this is since he has to pay Chase, so they can't pay Higgins. Chase has been excellent since being drafted in 2021, yet Chase remains unsigned. Reports say Cincinnati is to bend over backwards to get Chase's deal done. I'm sure they'll get it done eventually, but Cincinnati's ownership is notoriously and historically cheap, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, but they paid Joe Burrow a lot of money.
That's true, but I don't think they really had any choice on that matter.
Yeah.
What if they end up signing Higgins to be cheap and letting Chase walk? Like, it goes completely opposite what everyone thinks.
Him and Mark.
Okay, bro.
They have the money.
Okay. Darren Waller thinks Daniel Jones can return to 2022 form, which implies Daniel Jones will be mediocre instead of awful. Lastly, Eddie Jackson signs with the Ravens. Those are our quick reports for the last 2 weeks around the NFL.
How bad do you think the deals were for Dak and CD for them to just turn it down?
I think Dak's was... I don't think they're signing Dak. I think that if they were going to sign him, it would have behooved them to do it as the offseason started.
They got the contract offer?
They made him an offer that was probably like, hey, dude, we'll pay you $45 million a year. And it's like, why are you sending me this?
Kirk?
Yeah. Like, why are you sending me this offer? And I think they're going to sign CD eventually. They're just...
So what do you think that quarterback future looks like? Is he on his contract year?
Yeah, he's a true free agent next year, which is very rare for quarterbacks. And the last time it happened, Kirk Cousins got a fully guaranteed deal.
Yeah, I think the only way the Cowboys re-sign him and give him whatever he wants is if they make the Super Bowl.
It's possible, but the thing is, they don't have the talent to do so because his contract was so hefty. They had no way to spend any money.
Yeah.
And they didn't do any...
And he's their quarterback.
They're useless. All right. Yeah, fuck you. Okay. That's... Moving on. John Harbaugh was asked about Lamar Jackson's greatness. In response, he had this to say. We're going to play a little video here.
He's still growing. He's got a growth mindset. He's going to get better and better, no doubt. But what does he have to do to prove himself to some people, right? And I believe the Ravens and we've always had a vision for Lamar Jackson. It started with Lamar's vision and his mom's vision when he said he was going to be a quarterback. He was going to be a quarterback in high school. He's going to be a quarterback in college. He's going to be a quarterback in the National Football League. The vision for Lamar Jackson, and it's a vision, it's something you see it like it's already happened. You can see it like it's already been done. The victory has already been won when you pour into a vision. And the vision that we have together is that Lamar Jackson is going to become and be known and be recognized as the greatest quarterback ever to play in the history of the National Football League.
All right, now that we've watched whatever it is that was,
I don't know how long it was.
any chance Lamar goes down as the greatest quarterback of all time?
No. He's not even a top 3 quarterback in the league. No, I don't know if he'll ever be or if he ever was. So,
yeah, I think a good first step to being the GOAT would be to be the best quarterback in your division.
Conference. But that's not happening because Patrick Mahomes.
But being the best quarterback in your division is easier than conference, and he is yet to do that.
No hint or no giveaways, but not when Joe Burrow is a good thing either.
Right, but all right, Devin, you're actually being a moron right now. Which is more likely, that you're the best of 4 quarterbacks or you're the best of 16?
No. I know what you're saying. I'm saying it's hard for him to do either because he has Joe Burrow and Mahomes.
Yeah, the answer is no. Lamar's not the GOAT. He has no chance. My only... Like, it is such a ridiculous thing to say. I feel like what he's saying is all these greatest quarterbacks of all time do not have the running ability of Lamar. And you can't really teach running ability, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if they were to be able to instill in him the pre-play ability of a Peyton Manning with the accuracy of a Tom Brady, like, he would be the archetype of the greatest player ever.
No, he would be the greatest
player.
player.
I think that's what he's getting at. That's not going to happen. But him being the GOAT and all the accomplishments and everything that comes with that is also not going to happen for a player who every year he's been in the playoffs has his worst game of the year in those playoffs. He's not going to be the GOAT. So we won't spend a lot of time on it. Moving on, Bills lineman Deion Dawkins was asked about the new-look Bills roster, and here's what he had to say in response. Another video for you.
23, all those numbers might not have those same faces, but... You know, we're shooting for the stars. Like everybody is counting us out, which I'm cool with. You know, like we could fly underneath that radar and hit everybody with uppercuts.
All right. After watching that ridiculousness, what should the expectations be for the Bills this season?
Same as every year.
Super Bowl or bust?
No. What they do what ends up happening every year.
Okay.
Losing to Mahomes or Burrow probably in the playoffs, or I guess Stroud now.
Yeah, we'll do our official predictions later. If you were asking me right now, I don't think they're going to make it.
They're going to win their division.
I don't know, man. I think Miami has a chance.
I think that they just will beat Miami every time they play them.
Yeah, that's possible. But they're just not as good anymore. They
They're
lost
not,
a bunch of talent on defense and they lost their best receiver.
I still think they were worse than Miami last year and still won the division.
Yeah.
Oh, no, wait, did they lose it at the end of the year?
No, the Dolphins lost it at the end of the year.
Yeah,
the Bills came back and stole it from them.
I don't think both of those teams will make it to the playoffs, though.
Yeah, probably not. But also, their division is just could be really good, too.
Yeah.
Like, they have 3 teams
Jets,
that could be good.
I don't think either of them make the playoffs then, but we'll talk about that in another episode.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. My expectations for Buffalo is to either miss the playoffs or make the playoffs, and as soon as they play a good team, lose, because that's what they do.
I think the only team they can beat that's a true playoff team, like, supposed to be there is the Ravens, even though I don't know if the Ravens even make it.
Yeah, that'll depend. They wouldn't have beat Baltimore last year.
Well, yeah, it's tough with the difference in quarterback play.
Yeah, the Baltimore Ravens were so good at causing turnovers, and Allen loves to give away the ball.
True.
I don't think those two things marry very well. It's like Diggs bites on a lot of double moves. If he plays a team that does a lot of double moves, that's a bad matchup for Diggs. Anyway, moving on. There have been hundreds of quarterbacks to come and go in the NFL, but only a select few have mastered the position. Devin and I are now going to reveal our 4 best quarterbacks of all time in quarterback Mount Rushmore. Look at that. Look at Brady on the graphic.
I would like to say there's 2 quarterbacks that better be a lock in both of our Mount Rushmores.
All right, well, give yours, buddy, because I have a graphic for mine.
Okay. I have Tom. This is in no order.
Right.
Tom Brady, Joe Montana, Peyton Manning, and Patrick Mahomes.
Reveal the graphic.
We have the same thing? Yeah.
I have the exact same thing, but I'll
It's-
give an order. Brady, Mahomes, Manning, Montana. That's my order.
I have Brady, Mahomes, Montana, Manning.
Yeah. My only thing about Montana is all I can go off of is what I read. You can go back to the other graphic.
Yeah, it's hard, but like when you read only greatness, you kind of gotta.
Yeah.
It's like the whole thing with like Bill Russell. It's like you don't know what they did, but they only did great things with what you
But
read.
also Russell, like if you go off what just you read, Russell should be a top 3 player, and nobody really.
I'm
puts
more
him
just
there.
saying the whole greatness aspect of it. How you didn't get to see him play because it's so long ago, but you
Yeah.
know that they were great.
And to be fair, I'm just young. Like plenty
Yeah.
of people watch 90s. He was in 90s, or is he more 80s? Montana.
I think he's
80s into early
yeah.
90s. I just wasn't alive.
But I watched 3 of these 4 quarterbacks.
Yeah, I've always loved Manning. I've always
You know
just
who
loved
I
Manning.
always loved? Drew Brees. I always liked Drew Brees.
Yeah,
I forgot Alex is a Saints fan.
my former friend Sean really loved really hated Drew Brees, and everybody would say that Drew Brees was better than Rodgers all time, and he hated it. I hope you're watching, because if you are, fuck
I
you.
mean, there's an argument, but no.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna say no, but there's an argument.
yeah.
There is.
They have Rodgers has
There you
the
go.
accomplishments because he has more rings.
Brees-
Or not rings, MVPs.
So Brees has all the stats.
Yeah, Breeze has all the stats, and they have the same amount of Super Bowls. Rodgers has been with a better organization. Like he went to the championship more and lost more, which either you give him credit for
Yeah.
or it's detriment.
Yeah.
That just depending on who you're talking to.
If you want to be a good quarterback, just go to Green Bay. You get whatever you want.
Yeah, which is odd because they don't really spend money in free agency. They just kind of
Draft
have players.
Yeah, they just get a quarterback, maybe draft him, sit him for a few years, and he turns into Jesus.
Which is insane that it works because they don't get the cheap quarterback ever.
The cheap.
Because their
Yeah.
cheap quarterback's not playing.
Yeah.
Like they got Love cheap for 1 year and now he makes a bunch of money.
Yeah.
So they never get to enjoy the rookie contract.
Yeah, it's because they have greats. You can't just let them just like get rid of them.
Right, but it still works.
Yeah.
Like the formula
This is how
seems
they are.
nowadays have a cheap quarterback, Avengers
Unless
around
you're
them.
a certain player,
Who?
Patrick Mahomes.
Oh yeah, well yeah. That's what happens when you're one of the
Did you
best
just
ever.
did
though.
you just name the Niners roster?
The Avengers? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
A cheap quarterback who's really not that good but gets elevated by the players around him. There's 2 teams that come to mind. Dolphins,
Uh-oh.
Niners.
Well,
Dolphins quarterback is no
not
longer cheap,
anymore.
so they'll be shit real quick. Thank you, Ricky. All right. Now that we got the all-time greats out of the way after months of back and forth, inconsistencies, and general trolling on behalf of the guy to the left of me, now is the time to make our official 1 through 32 starting quarterback rankings. We messed up once. I ranked someone I thought was going to start, and he ranked a different starter.
It's our rankings though,
Yeah,
so it's fine.
yeah. So we got... first, we're going to go through...
How about because you have your graphic, like we'll just do that, and I'll name who I have there.
Okay. Throw up the first graphic.
Now there is. Oh, okay.
So this is 29 through 32. We'll start from 32. Sorry to anyone who thinks otherwise. Daniel Jones is awful. He's always been awful. He had one mediocre year that made people think he was good. He's not. It was a training wheel offense with a great running back, and they didn't play many good teams. And the good teams they played, they got slaughtered by.
Yeah.
A great year having 15 touchdowns isn't great. Sorry, not sorry. Sam Darnold, the only reason he's ahead of Daniel Jones is I think there's a chance, this much of a chance that he's even average. Daniel Jones is dog shit. Sam Darnold is more than likely dog shit, but it's not proven. I put Jared Stidham here. Honestly, it's Jared Stidham. Like, we know he's
just not last because Daniel Jones.
Right. That pretty much. Yeah. If Daniel Jones wasn't like alive,
You might put
Jared Stidham would probably be last. And the only reason Jared Stidham's ahead of Darnold is because I've seen Darnold play more, and I know Darnold is bad. Stidham's kind of like, he's just there, whatever.
Yeah.
And then Russell Wilson, what a fall from grace. He's been one of the worst quarterbacks in the league for 2 years. And now, for some reason, the Steelers are starting him over Fields, who would probably be ranked like mid-20s on this
Yeah.
list. So more power to those morons.
I have Daniel Jones because his best regular season was a Patrick Mahomes postseason run. I have Sam Darnold above Daniel Jones because, like you said, there's a chance. But I do think learning...
What's your 32?
Daniel,
Yes.
okay. 31, Sam Darnold.
Okay.
Because Sam Darnold did just learn under Kyle Shanahan, offensive.
They called him
guru.
Steve Young.
And then he's learning under what's his name? He's the offensive guy. He was the head coach for the Vikings.
Kevin O'Connell.
Yes, he's learning under him now. That's two great offensive minds that can just get people open for their quarterback. He just needs to make simple throws.
And he has Jettas.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, he's going to outperform what he should.
Yeah.
As long as J.J. McCarthy doesn't take the spot because they suck.
Which he won't because he sucks. All right.
30, I want to put him higher, but we just know what he is, Jacoby Brissett.
Really?
Like, I know Jacoby's good, but we know what he is. He's not going to get better. He's not going to get worse. I think these other players have some upside.
And you didn't rank Stidham.
No.
Right.
And
Would
then-
you have Stidham at 30 over Brissett?
If I rank Stidham, yeah. I would probably have Stidham at 31.
Fair.
And then you have 29 up there. I have Derek Carr.
That low?
Dude, after his season, he made Chris Olave not look that great.
Yeah.
He made Alvin Cook. He literally got half his yards, I feel, off throwing 5-yard dumps to Kamara.
Yeah. So I give Derek Carr a little bit of a boost because I saw him be
Yes.
good to great
Dude,
with Oakland.
That
or
one
Las
year with
Vegas.
Oakland that he broke his leg,
Yeah.
he was phenomenal.
I saw that happen, and I also think the Saints' offensive staff and just coaching staff in general is bottom half of the league. So I want to believe in him in that aspect. And we're in an NFL where you kind of need two good receivers, and they only really have Olave. And then they have like deep threats, but they don't have anyone that scares you. And Slant Boy is always hurt.
He got cut, right?
I do believe so.
Yeah,
Dallas.
he did. Yeah.
Dallas.
With Derek Carr, he's kind of like the thing with Jacoby Brissett. I know what I'm getting. He's not going to get better than what we just saw. And his receivers seem to hate him unless their name is
It seems like most of their receivers.
Devontae Adams. They hate him.
That does seem to be
There's
true.
a reason there's a reason they wanted Jameis, not him.
Yeah. I wonder, do you think Jameis steals the spot?
I don't think there's any way unless Deshaun is literally that bad or injured.
Oh, he's with the Browns. He's not with the Saints anymore.
If he was on the Saints, yes, I think he could steal the spot.
Wow. I think I disagree with you. I think Carr can return to form. I don't think what he is now
I
is
think
what
if he could
will
have,
be.
he would have done it when he had Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
I still think that was
their team was okay, and they made the playoffs the year before. The Raiders weren't
Yeah,
awful
no, I
when they
like
had
Derek Carr. I just don't think he's going to get better than what we saw, and I think the guys above him have more of a long shot to be better.
I hear you. All right, moving on to 28 through 22 now. We have Bryce Young.
Oh, you have him right here. Okay.
We have Bryce Young, who very little people have any faith in. Usually these rookie quarterbacks,
Okay, this is where it kind of gets interesting with our list.
if they're gonna be even good, they show flashes their rookie year. He didn't. He's simply too small. The only way you can be that small is if you're athletic, a la, excuse me, a Kyler Murray. He's simply too small to play the position. Carolina's a dumpster fire. He's doomed, unfortunately.
I'll back you up when you come up, Bryce Young, I promise.
I have Jacoby Brissett at 27. I think that he is one of, if not the best backups in the league.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's
other than like Justin Fields.
Yeah, he's slated to be a starter, which I think he's a Teddy Bridgewater, Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah, he's not going to turn the ball over. He's going to make the right throws. It's just he's not going to.
He's a good locker room guy. I have Derek Carr at 26 because I just want to believe, man. I just want to believe.
I want
Carr.
to too.
I want to believe in him. Now we got some young guys coming up, and the mustache himself. I always forget Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
I always forget his name. Again, he's too small to play the position, in my opinion. I don't think he has very much upside at all, which is great for me because obviously he's on the Commanders. He might have one good year, and then he'll just start getting just tormented with injuries. He's simply too small. Yeah, he's simply too small. And not in terms of height.
Yeah.
He weighs like $180. Like, you can't play professional
It's like
football.
you tell John Morant to go out there and play quarterback.
Right. Like, you simply can't play this violent of a sport when you're that, like, small. Will Levis, I think there's a chance he gets much higher than this. I think he showed a lot of flashes for a not very good Tennessee team last year. But until he shows some of those flashes, I don't think you can put him any higher than that. Gardner Minshew at 23. I think that he's actually like a solid quarterback. Which, by the way, usually when you're ranking quarterbacks at this point, like the mid-20s, you're talking about bad quarterbacks. I don't think a lot of these guys are actually bad. I think the league just has a lot of good quarterbacks right now.
I think really the only bad is like Daniel Jones, Sam Darnold.
Yeah, Jared Stidham's probably bad.
I don't have him ranked. That's why.
Russell Wilson is bad. Gardner Minshew, I think he's actually a very solid starter. I think that if Gardner Minshew was on the Niners instead of Purdy, they'd have the same amount of success. Let's put it that way.
They might have won a Super Bowl. I'm just being honest. No, well, I think if they had him instead of Garoppolo that year, they win the Super Bowl.
I would
not instead of Purdy, because Purdy actually played good in the Super Bowl.
Anthony Richardson at 22. I think he could get much, much higher than that if he can stay healthy. He showed a lot of flashes in the games that he played, and he's just an athletic freak, which is the complete opposite of like Bryce Young and Daniels, where like Daniels a specimen.
Pretty athletic.
Yeah, he is, but he's just
small. Yeah.
If he was even like the weight of just your average quarterback, I don't need you to be Josh Allen. He's just too small.
Starting at 28, right?
Yeah.
I got Bo Nix at 28, Will Levis at 27, Russ at 26. We have Jaden Daniels at the same spot.
There you
25. Minshew at 24, Geno at 23, and Deshaun Watson at 22.
Wow, our list is like completely different.
Anything crazy there?
I think having Russ that high is a little ridiculous.
Dude, it's just...
I think having Russ higher than Jacoby is insane.
Russ did not play that bad last season.
And you have Russ ahead of Carr.
Yes.
That's insane as well.
Russ didn't play that bad last season. I'm just going to be so honest.
His stats didn't look bad. If you watch the game,
he still has an elite deep ball.
Yeah.
He has an elite deep ball, and he had...
I think he has a good deep ball.
No.
But he was also playing a very selfish brand of quarterback last year, taking a ridiculous amount of sacks just so he didn't have to throw picks or throw into tight windows.
Yeah, or maybe that's Sean Payton's thing.
No.
I don't know.
There was a clip of him yelling at him about it.
I don't think Russ is as bad as you say. I don't think he's great, but I have him at 26 for a reason. He's bottom 10.
Yeah. I just don't... Did you have Russ ahead of Carr?
Yes.
That's crazy to me.
Carr just... I don't know, dude. It's hard with Carr. I want him to be great.
You're hating on the Carr man.
No, I want him to be great, but he hasn't shown anything. He's another guy. He'll put up numbers, but not wins.
I think when you're at the bottom of these lists, like, a lot of it is just kind of a personal preference thing. Like, it's not a lot of arguing.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say something about the Geno thing.
Yeah, I definitely had Geno higher, but I can also see why Geno would be that low.
Yeah.
That's where it comes into these spots are, like, personal preference almost. All right, moving on to 21 to 15. First, I got Deshaun Watson.
That's a little insane.
That's not insane.
But, okay.
Deshaun Watson, I hope he gets back.
Dude,
to just
if he
half
gets
of
back, he's up here, bro.
Yeah. Deshaun at his peak would be probably
is he better
number
than Burrow?
2.
Right?
Yeah.
Or whoever you have at 2.
Yeah. I think he would be number 2.
Yeah.
He would be 2 or 3 if he was still, prime Deshaun. It's so sad to see. I had Geno at 20. He definitely had a drop off last year from the year before.
Yeah, that's why I put him down.
Yeah.
People had more tape on him in the offense.
Yeah, 21 through 19 kind of bores me, to be completely honest with you.
True.
So Geno, Kirk. Kirk, mostly I'm accounting for he just tore his Achilles. And at his age...
You think it's going to be like Klay Thompson?
Maybe. I mean, obviously a completely different sport, but usually quarterbacks just aren't the same after that kind of injury. And he was never, like, elite. He was just good. So an elite quarterback can still be good after it because they're dropping a level.
Yeah.
But when you're just good, you drop to average. And then I have Tua at 18, followed by his twin across the country, Purdy. Both of them, same story. They need all pros on their offense all around them to succeed. I firmly believe neither of them are very good. Obviously, Purdy is better than Jimmy ever was, but as soon as he starts making real money and they have to start peeling the all pros away, he's doomed. There was actually an article written from a San Francisco reporter that is like a Niners fan, like he's a Niners reporter, that was saying Purdy struggles when he doesn't have all 6 of his all-pros and when he only has 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Like, golly.
I only have 4.
I only have 4 all-pros. I just can't get it done anymore. And he's
Here
talking
you go,
about
McCaffrey.
He's talking about wanting to be more like Tom Brady and go for the jugular. Like when they had leads last year, they would just play it safe, and he doesn't want to do that. He wants to go for the kill shots. Like, yeah, okay, good luck, buddy. You're going to lose your team games. You
Please
simply
do
are.
it.
Yeah, absolutely. Please do it.
You'll win majority of them, but you're going to lose some of them you're supposed to win.
Yeah. They're just... People seem to not watch football. They seem to just let the games happen, and then on Tuesday after the Monday night game, they pull up their stat sheet and be like, oh, look at that. Purdy's really, really good. No, he's not. He's carried by a bunch of all-pros. He has the best left tackle in the league. He has the best running back in the league. He has one of the best wide receiver tandems in the league. He has the second best tight end in the league.
Yeah.
And he has an elite defense on the other side backing him up.
Not to talk, the person calling the plays
is the
elite.
Best coach in the league, or second best.
I think also with Purdy is his numbers are great. Looking at him, he's making the throws, but like the receivers and the people he's throwing to, there's nobody around them.
I truly believe so he's a rookie, so it's tough to... Outside of rookies, from 26 up, so Derek Carr up on these lists could go to San Francisco and have the exact same success. Most NFL...
I think some can have more on your list.
Most NFL quarterbacks, when you have 6 all-pros, you're not getting rushed from your blind side. You have one of the best left tackles of all time. They're playing more people in the box because you have the best running back in the league, potentially a future Hall of Famer, and 2 elite receivers with an elite tight end. Somebody's getting wide open.
And the tight end can block.
Correct. Most NFL quarterbacks can throw to people who are wide open.
I can do it.
The thing that Purdy's good at is reading the play and be like, oh, he's going to be wide open. Let me throw it to him. But as soon as you actually figure out that offense and guard them, like, he's not going to be able to make that play consistently. He's just not. Because he doesn't have the arm talent and he doesn't have the physical attributes necessary to be that guy.
I'm so glad that you're not like one of the Purdy people that have him top 10 because I wouldn't be able to do this podcast with you. I'm going to be honest. I couldn't. Because we'd argue about Purdy every week.
And now moving on to the Baker thing. I believe Baker's better. I saw him go to a team that won 1 game in 2 years and lead them to the playoffs. I saw him last year with a team that had over $100 million in dead cap, take them to the playoffs and win a game and dominate the game.
It was against the Eagles. I think any playoff team.
I think that Baker's playoff game against the Eagles is more impressive than any game Purdy played in that playoff run.
I think his Super Bowl was very impressive.
I don't. He played okay and missed several game-winning touchdowns.
Okay, but it's better than the Baker game. Just because
Super
Bowl,
where it is.
It's Super Bowl and it's against a top 5 defense.
Obviously, the stakes are...
You got to look at the defenses, too.
Yeah. But Baker played well against the Lions. Like, people will say, oh, he threw a pick at the end. Well, that's because he was just trying to make something happen.
That was a one-possession game, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But they were, like, in dire straits, like, no timeouts, like, just having to force stuff.
He had to kind of do something.
So that was one of my favorite parts of the list right there. Because I will die on that sword. Yeah. I hope so badly that Purdy has another good year so that the Niners pay him so that they're fucked. I want it to happen so bad. I promise you,
though, Purdy better never win an MVP. I will lose it.
Well, if all of his... Not all of them. If he no longer... Once Ayuk leaves, and then Ayuk's gone, Trent Williams retires, and now he doesn't have the Avengers, if he keeps playing like this, I'll eat my words. But when you have 6 All-Pros, and we just saw the same thing happen. Jimmy G, now everybody... No, he's not good enough for a nickname. Jimmy Garoppolo was not good. He was elevated by having a bunch of really, really good people around him. And now The whole question was, can you plug anyone into the Niners offense and have them succeed? The answer is yes.
Pretty much.
But instead of people being like, oh, I guess you can, they want to talk themselves into believing that he's elite. He's not. He was Mr. Relevant for a reason. He's okay. That's all he is. And if he was on, let's just look at the jerseys here. If he was on the Falcons, they would be competing for the number 1 overall pick.
Switch these two, bro.
If he was on the Bucks, they'd be screwed. If he was on
Seahawks.
the Browns would probably still be pretty good. They have a
Seahawks
really good.
wouldn't.
The Seahawks would be screwed, and that's with a quarterback like Geno.
Let's put him on the Giants.
Oh man, they'd be just as bad.
They'd be probably the worst team in the league.
Yeah, but they might be that anyway. And then 15, I have Caleb. I think Caleb has a lot of upside. Honestly, I need one good year, and he'll be creeping into my top 10.
All right, you start at 21?
Yep.
Baker. Okay, I'm going to defend this man. Bryce Young.
What? You have Bryce Young at 20?
He did not get a fair... Dude.
That's disgusting.
He couldn't do it. It's like... Okay, what team did you go to in your road to glory? That wouldn't walk?
Kennesaw.
Go to Kennesaw. That's what he was doing.
But here's the thing.
No weapons, no offensive line. Hold on. They paid the offensive line. Now they overpaid, but they got a decent offensive line now. They got weapons for him. Thielen might be the number 3 receiver now. And I just think that 20 is fair for him because he's the number 1 pick for a reason. He doesn't just suck. He has talent. He showed some flashes.
That's like you saying that Josh Rosen was a top 10 pick for a reason and sticking with him.
No, it's not.
It is.
Because Josh Rosen threw a pick 6 every game.
Okay, so let me spit for a second, right? The Panthers were not originally the number 1 overall pick. The Bears were, which is why the Bears got the number 1 pick this year because they like swapped picks and did that trade, right? So the Panthers roster was actually good enough. I think they won like 7 games the year before. Hearing me out?
Yeah.
It was like 7 or 8, anywhere from 6 to 8, okay? The Houston roster was bad enough to be the 2nd overall pick. They truly held that pick, right?
Well, yes.
C.J. Stroud turned them into a playoff team because he's that guy. Bryce Young, the team got exponentially worse and ended up with the number 1 overall pick, which they didn't get to enjoy because they traded it because they're dumb. That bad franchises stay bad franchises for a reason. So why is it that CJ, with a team that was truly bad enough to be the 2nd overall pick, can make them a playoff team?
Because he's a lot better than Bryce Young.
But Bryce Young should not make them worse.
What were the weapons the year before?
They were worse.
They had DJ Moore.
They did have DJ Moore. Why'd they trade DJ? But Thielen had
For
a good
Bryce
year.
Young.
But even stupider. God, they're so bad.
I'm not saying it's smart, but
Thielen was really
it's
good.
not like the team was the same. If it was the same team, they're fighting for a wild card spot.
No way.
In NFC,
the NFC ended up being.
I said
better last
fighting.
year.
They can get 7-8 wins and be in the hunt the whole year.
Well, I guess that's fair because they're division winner.
Yes,
won
that's
9.
what I'm saying.
But I don't know, man.
Bryce Young.
Really, the only major change was DJ.
That's a big change. That's rushing yards, receiving touchdowns, getting people off of Adam Thielen.
I guess we're
not loading the box as much.
I guess we will see. But I think Bryce Young's doomed.
Okay, and then at 19, I have Tua. 18 Purdy.
Yeah.
17 Anthony Richardson.
That's fair.
16 Jared Goff. And 15
You have Jared Goff all the way down here? Holy shit, okay.
15 Trevor Lawrence.
You have Trevor all the way down here? Holy
Yes.
shit, okay.
Yeah, I'm surprised I haven't seen... There's a name that I haven't seen yet that I'm very surprised. I'm glad you didn't make that bias of the list. Somebody that I thought you'd have in this range, that is.
Oh, Hurts?
No.
Oh, okay.
I mean, yes, but no.
Okay.
We'll
All right.
get to that. I'm sure he's next.
We now have...
Well, so you're surprised with Goff and Lawrence being low.
Yeah, I can't believe they're that low.
Goff is just, he's a system guy. He's one of the best system quarterbacks in the game, but under pressure,
His under pressure stuff's really
bad.
bad.
Little iffy. And if you're gonna win a Super Bowl, you need to be able to throw under pressure.
Unless you have the best offensive line in the league, which they do.
Yeah, that's until you face Chris Jones.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then Trevor Lawrence just.
I understand
underwhelming,
the Trevor stuff.
Dude.
Yeah, I understand the Trevor stuff. I understand Trevor more than Goff. So we're gonna move on to 14 through 8.
That's who I was talking about.
Which they're on entirely different graphics, but like I have Trevor at 13 and you had him at what, 16 or 15?
15.
So it's not like they're like hugely different.
Yeah, your 14 I thought was going to be in your last graphic because you don't like him. But
I don't like him.
You know he's
but
great.
He's more there for a legacy thing because it's possible that he's really bad.
Yeah, but
I mean, how old he is and the injuries and all that, and he's not focused on football. That's more of a legacy thing because I know he was
such an
great.
ass, dude. You just couldn't slide him in there. Couldn't just find a way.
So we got Aaron at 14, Trevor at 13. Trevor hasn't had a singular great season yet.
He's had stretch.
Right. He's had great stretches. That's like the opposite of Aaron. Like Aaron's a legacy thing. Trevor is like a pedigree thing. Like he should be so great.
And he showed that he can.
Right. He's had moments where he's been really good. Hurts lucked out to be at 12, to be honest with you. Have you seen any of the NFL Top 100 lists?
I've seen like the crazy outlandish stuff, like how Tua was 40 spots above Herbert and stuff like that.
It's outlandish, right? Because Tua over Herbert by that many spots would imply they're only basing it off of that one
year.
This 1 year, right? Or
which is what they do.
Burrow was super low. Like
Burrow shouldn't be on the list if it's based off just last year, though.
Right. But then somehow Hurts was above Dak, which even the like biggest Dak critics know Dak vastly outperformed Hurts last year.
Like if you're just going off year and stats, Dak's above Jalen Hurts.
Right. So that makes no sense. Hurts should not have. Anyway,
the NFL has a thing for Hurts.
Yeah, Hurts is one like mediocre year away from finding himself on the same graphic as Deshaun. He might get cut. The Eagles move on from quarterbacks. I mean, look at what happened to Wentz. And Wentz made it.
Wentz was better than Hurts ever has been, ever will be.
I would agree with that. Without the injury,
I'm saying his prime.
I think the Super Bowl that Nick Foles won, Wentz would have won just the same.
He probably would have blown them out nearly. Like he was really like.
Well, I don't know about that because the Eagles put up a bunch of points and the Patriots put up a bunch of points. Like Wentz wouldn't have stopped the Patriots from scoring.
Yeah, true. But I think he would have controlled the game better.
Maybe that's possible. At 11, I have Kyler, which I did a cheeky thing. I made Kyler's graphics.
I see.
Because he's like shorter.
Yeah, I see.
He's knocking on the door of top 10.
He'll be there.
He's the most accurate of the mobile quarterbacks.
By far.
By far.
Unless you're putting Josh Allen there, but even then, there's an argument for in the pocket accuracy.
Yeah, I like Murray a lot, and he's the hometown quarterback. But I just couldn't justify putting him above anyone else. Goff. If Goff was just guaranteed to not face like immense pressure, he'd be like really, really high.
Yeah.
That was my biggest one. I can't believe he had Goff as low, but that might be a little biased because he was a Ram, and you're a Cardinals fan.
It's a little bit like that, but it's also just he's just there to throw accurate passes until he has big boys in his face.
My other thing is that he turned not solely right because they had a new coach and they've gotten a bunch of talent, but no Lions quarterback, not even Matt Stafford, who's above him on this list, has had the success with Detroit that he has.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the NFC Championship game, if you had asked me a few years ago, will the Lions make it there anytime soon? I would have said, psh, why are you even wasting my time with that question?
It's also,
and here
but
they
there's
are.
just a difference in roster and coaching. Like, Dan Campbell fires them up. Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know. Jared Goff, I think he's actually a pretty solid quarterback.
I do too. I think 16-1 is literally, like, good. All good. 17. 1-17. Not on yours list, my list. Oh, by the way, my list is the only right list.
That's not true.
His is opinion-based. Mine's correct. Factual.
That's false. What's correct is that Murray's graphic is short, and that's how it should be.
What's correct is he's really good.
I have Jordan Love at 9, which is probably biased on the wrong end of things because he just pillaged my favorite team. But I think he has the potential to be really good. He has a great arm. He has the right player build. He got to sit behind one of the best players ever for a long time. He has a great coaching staff. A lot of young pieces around him that can grow and get better with him.
Will it really annoy you if he's great?
Yes, very much so. And I think he's going to be.
Yeah, Green Bay is not. That's not fair. Dude.
No,
they
three
go,
in a row.
They go from 2 Hall of Famers to somebody that is like the talent of one.
Yeah,
it's
not fair at all. Number 8, I have Stafford. All this stuff about him being the best quarterback in the NFC, I think, is kind of ridiculous. I think you could very easily have him at 13 on this list. On my list, he's 8.
I have him second in the NFC.
Fair. I think I do too.
I'm pretty sure you do.
I'm pretty sure I do.
You do. It's just we have a little bit different of who's 1 and who's 3.
All right. So 14 through 8.
I have Kirk Cousins at 14, Jalen Hurts at 13, Rodgers at 12, Caleb at 11, Kyler at 10. Got this guy at 9.
Dak at 9.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Stafford at 8.
So who's 1
Who's 1?
in the NFC?
Oh, you'll see. He's not there. He's on the graphic. You named him. He'll come in the next graphic. Don't worry. Don't worry about it. He'll come in the next graphic.
Fuck. What? I'm excited to hear that. I'm really confused. Okay, I'm just gonna keep this one on my screen. That makes my life a lot easier. Okay, relist your 14 through 8 again. I got flustered.
Kirk Cousins, Jalen Hurts, Aaron Rodgers, Caleb Williams, Kyler, Dak, and Stafford.
I think the lowest you can have Dak is 8. So I'm interested to see what your 1 through 7
Let me
is.
see who do we have? It's really just 2 people.
Yeah, I think the lowest you can have Dak is 8. But I ought to hear your list to find out. Because I think we had this segment a while ago. I think the highest you could argue he is 3. Or no, 2. But the lowest 8. You can have is 8.
I will tell you, he's at not.
Love. You have Love way higher. Yeah. Okay. That might be fair.
Not way higher, but he's higher than...
That might be fair.
It is
fair.
Fair.
There might be an argument for that. I gotta hear
But you don't like the Dak at 3 in the NFC?
No. Obviously not.
All right.
That's interesting. Okay, so that's 8 through 14. Now we got solo graphics.
7.
Ooh. 7, Lamar Jackson. He has the worst game of the year in the playoffs every single year. He's more of a running back than a quarterback. Ow. I have a paper cut.
Good. You deserve it for who you have at that spot right there.
He's been blessed with great defenses, great running games, 2 things that make a quarterback's life much easier. We'll get into a lot of this with the Dak thing. I think that it is a monstrosity that last year the quarterback that won the award is Lamar. I don't think a quarterback should have gotten it.
I think it should have been McCaffrey or Hill.
I think it should have been a position player, a skill player, because those very rarely happen. But the fact that it was Lamar over Dak is ridiculous. There's no statistical argument that says that's okay. And the winning argument isn't there either. The Ravens did win more, but the precedent is you need 12 wins, which Dak got. I don't think Dak should have gotten it. I don't think Lamar should have gotten it, but it's ridiculous that he did, because if a quarterback was going to get it, it should have been Dak. I think that Dallas players get a star on the helmet reduction when it comes to awards and everything else. In my lifetime, a Dallas Cowboys not won an MVP. A lot of that's because they've not been a very good team, but I think that's ridiculous. So the argument of, he has 2 MVPs, he should only have 1, and he has no playoff success whatsoever at all, just like a lot of players in the NFL since Mahomes has begun his reign. Devin?
Before that, dude, would you rather have how you have, where nobody on the Cowboys is going to win the MVP, or would you rather have your quarterback be the front runner and then get hurt 2 years in a row?
Yeah. I'd rather my quarterback not get hurt. I don't want him to get hurt.
Okay.
So,
it's more get the hopes up of it happening, and then it just goes to it was
the first time I ever had, the hopes of someone winning MVP. Yeah. I guess in 2016, people were saying, Dak and Zeke might... A rookie quarterback's not winning it, and a running back isn't winning it.
Until Stroud, last year was only buzz for a rookie winning it.
Yeah, I think Dak had more buzz than even he did. I mean, at the time.
Yeah. Okay, so at 7, I have Jordan Love.
Okay. I mean, based on how you've formulated your list, that's fair. Fair adjacent.
Yeah, my list is formulated on facts.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Obviously.
Jordan Love does not have near the success of Dak. You can very easily think that he's a one-year wonder. Like,
dude,
having him be that.
Oh, he has to have the success. He's played 1 year.
Exactly.
All right, so
that's the
where
same
is his
argument.
success?
CJ has a lot, bro.
Yeah.
CJ's really, really good.
So is Jordan Love. You just hate him because he's a Packer.
No, I don't hate Jordan yet.
You hate the Packers.
I do.
You're
hate
gonna
the
hate him
Packers.
next year when he 42-0s the Cowboys.
Okay, they're not 42-0ing us.
42-3. Sorry.
Fair.
Will you then hate him if he takes you guys out in the playoffs again?
It depends on how it happens.
If it's the same way. Or
the
would you hate
hatred comes from heartbreaks. Like if
Oh,
you
so
just
if
kill me, I don't care.
Yeah, but if it's like a shootout and then like 2-minute drill just kills you.
Right, what Aaron did
Yeah.
to us makes me hate him.
Got you.
The thing about Love is that the beginning of the year he didn't look very good. It was all at the end. So was it just a hot stretch or was he really good?
I think
CJ was good all year.
I think it was a thing if he was getting chemistry. I don't think LaFleur opened up the playbook until they like needed to.
Yeah.
Like I think
They
were,
should
like,
have.
I think they were in the hunt, and then LaFleur's like, you know what? You've been here 3 years. Throw it all at you. See how you do.
Yeah.
Because they have to pay him this year.
Yeah,
Might as well see what he got.
The Niners annoy my soul so much. The Packers and the Lions should have beat the Niners. If the Packers defenders knew how to catch, the Niners get blown out. And the Lions just fell apart.
Yeah, dude.
That kind of loss would make me more mad than how Dallas lost to Green Bay.
Because you know it's over at halftime.
Yeah, I did. I turned the game off.
I know you said that.
So
we were all clowning you in the group chat.
Yeah,
I turned it off. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't even know what y'all are talking about. I turned it off. Moving on to number 6.
That is insane.
Justin Herbert.
It's insane work.
How is that insane? What kind of success has he had outside of making it to the playoffs and blowing the largest lead ever?
I'm just gonna stop. He clears Dak.
No, bro, he doesn't.
He clears Dak.
Dak has literally everything on him. Playoff success, regular season numbers.
Let's
he has
talk
everything.
the player themselves. Dak's better than him at like nothing.
It leads to more success though.
Better team, coach.
He had Jason Garrett and made it to the playoffs. Jason Garrett's just as bad as
No,
Brandon.
he's not.
He's just as bad as Brandon Staley.
Okay, but the difference is the roster as well.
The Chargers roster was loaded. Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, an elite left tackle, and Slater. He wasn't injured every year.
I'm talking last year.
Why are we only talking about last year?
He's been 3 years as starter. First year he wasn't expected to even play.
I think it was 4. I think it's 4.
First year wasn't expected to play. Came bursting onto the scene.
Right, he had a very good rookie season and has
and
not
then he's
gotten
also
better
been
since.
He's played Mahomes twice a year. That's usually slated in 2 losses.
That's not good.
That's Patrick Mahomes.
Right, I understand that, but if he's that guy, then it should equal out enough to where if you have a decent enough roster, you can beat him.
He's that guy, but so there's that guy, and then there's Mahomes.
Right, I understand that, but Burrow beats Mahomes almost every time.
Because there's that guy, Burrow, Mahomes. I'm gonna just kill you with that.
No, that's not killing me. That's just
is.
circular reasoning.
Dude, I can't. I'm just gonna stop.
And even still, last
work.
year they didn't finish the year better than the Raiders did. That's not a Mahomes thing.
That's also an injury thing, though. Slater did get hurt last year.
He did,
like the whole year.
But to say that he has not had good teams is just not factual.
No,
not
I
accurate.
said he hasn't had
Khalil
good teams.
Mack, Joey Bosa,
I didn't say he has a good
J.C.
teams.
Jackson.
I said there's a difference in team with the Cowboys and them.
Their team has been just as good as Dallas's.
No,
but now we have Mike McCarthy.
Sucked.
But that's because Brandon Staley's a joke. But the roster is good.
Oh my God, what did I say?
But I'm saying that Jason Garrett, when he was with Dak found ways to succeed. Justin Herbert did not find ways to succeed.
Oh, you want him to go play safety? You want him to go play defense and stop them?
Dallas's defense was always shitty until they got Dan Quinn, and Dak still was 13-3, made the playoffs.
I'm not talking.
Dak has
about
had one losing season.
I'm not talking about the whole team when it comes to a quarterback.
So what are you talking about? Because Herbert had all the weapons. Why can't he win
That's
games
what I'm saying.
38
not the
to 35?
side. I'm talking about the offensive side, just strictly.
Okay. Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler,
okay.
all very good players.
And he won with them. He would win regular season games.
But he made the playoffs once.
That's because
and blew a huge lead.
He's in the AFC.
There's still wild card spots.
Yeah, they were always right there.
And Dallas was in the division with the team that has gone to 2 Super Bowls in the last 10 years.
the Eagles, dude.
Okay, so whenever I make an argument, it's the Eagles.
It's the NFC.
Well, it's the Chiefs.
They don't need to even win the division to make the playoffs over there.
Neither does Herbert.
Yes,
The Steelers made the wild card last year.
Once again, last year when the whole team was hurt.
This guy. So what happened when they were up 28-0 against Jacksonville?
They choked. I didn't say Herbert was Jesus Christ. I just said he's better than Dak, who I have at 9.
But what is your basis for him being better?
He's just a better player.
So there's just no argument that I can make. All right,
No, there's not.
Number 5.
I already told you mine's factual.
No, yours is bullshit. Number 5, I have C.J. Stroud. I originally had him at 4, and I had Dak at 5. But I'm done doing the...
But I'm going to suck on Dak.
You said you wouldn't do that. I am done with the star on the helmet
I said
reduction.
I wouldn't troll.
That's a troll. I'm literally not writing him.
It's a fact.
It's okay. Hey, Dak, are you there? No, I'm not currently writing the man, so obviously it's not a fact. Okay. I'm done with the star on the helmet reduction. Dak...
Sorry. I was coughing.
Dak has all the regular season numbers, obviously. They have this... Dak has more playoff success, all of this. CJ just needs one more year to prove himself, and then he'll jump Dak. He hasn't jumped him yet. Your number 5? Herbert. Okay, so Stroud's
I'm
higher.
fine with your spot.
So I know you're 4 through 1 now.
Yeah.
Unless you did something insane. I have your 4 through 1.
Oh, yeah, I put Chad Henne as the starter.
All right. Is Chad Henne still the... No, Wentz is the backup now.
Oh, yeah, I put Wentz as the starter and put him
that's
at
smart.
1.
That's smart. Yeah, obviously I disagree with the Herbert thing, but we just had that argument. So
well, you don't disagree with the ranking, really.
Herbert at 5? Yeah, he's 6.
There's one difference. You disagree with who I have above him.
Yeah.
Like if I had put Lamar or if I put Herbert in front of Lamar and not Dak, you'd freak out. You wouldn't freak out.
Right. Yeah, that's fair. So we got 5. 4, Dak Prescott. He has all the regular season numbers.
I think you forgot to put a 1 in front of the 4.
He's not even top 32. He promised he wouldn't do this.
That's
and here we
pissed
are.
me off.
What did I do to piss you off? I just made factual arguments, and you just said, well, it's the Chiefs. Oh, well, that's the Eagles. You made no actual basis.
Herbert's better.
Based on what?
Well, because I don't know factual statements because I don't compare the two because I know one's clearly better than the other.
He's not clearly better, and when they've played in the regular season, Dak is 2-0. All right.
I don't care.
And Dak has better regular season numbers. He has a better postseason history.
But the regular season numbers aren't that crazy different.
No, they kind of are because Herbert has not gotten better since his rookie year. He's actually gotten steadily worse every year. Interesting.
So has the team.
No, it has not.
It
only got worse last year.
It has kind of gotten a little worse every year.
No, it hasn't.
It's hard when you sign J.C. Jackson to that much money.
Yeah, that was a miss, but you still have Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa and Mike Williams and Keenan Allen and Austin Eckler and elite left tackle. And then they got the center from the Packers, Lindsey.
Mm-hmm.
Gerald Everett's a good enough tight end. He had plenty of talent.
Is Joey Bosa even okay to name? Does he play ever?
Yeah, I mean, that's a fair point. That's the first fair point the man has made this entire time. 4, like I said, I have Dak. I understand arguments that he is as low as 8. I don't understand the 9 thing. Obviously, I argued very mightily over the Herbert thing, but that's just because of how strongly he came about it. If he's like, oh yeah, I can see your point, but no, he's just so stuck in it. And apparently, I'm riding a man currently, although if you look behind me, there's nobody there. Moving on.
You're sitting on him.
I will literally pick up this chair and show everybody that there's not a penile there.
At 4, I have... Did I already say? I have Stroud.
Yeah, you said that.
Okay.
The next 3 are probably going to be pretty unargumentative. 3, I have Josh Allen.
You as well.
I almost put Dak above Josh. Josh consistently throws picks all the time. Him as a passer is severely overrated, and everybody just rides his meat. I personally believe this. Like I keep bringing up the star and the helmet reduction. If Josh was on the Cowboys, he'd be the most criticized player in the entire league, just like Dak is. He leads the league in turnovers almost every single year. Luckily for him, Sam Howell exists. Otherwise, he would have done it every year since he's been in the league. He's great, but he doesn't get as much criticism as he should because of the team he plays for.
I think it's also, though, he doesn't get as much criticism because he'll throw 3 picks and then he'll have a game when he drive. Like, he just does stuff like that.
So because his defense kept him in after playing
and
like
then he
shit.
and then he just did like a superhero driver. He does those plays, stuff like that.
Good on him. 2, I have Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow, he needs to show something this year because I feel like he could fall with a mediocre year. He could fall as low as
4.
I think he could fall lower.
Well, it depends on...
Depending on what the others do.
Yeah, if
I
they
think
just
he could
play
fall,
how they did last year, I think he can fall to 5 behind, like, Stroud, Allen, Herbert. He can maybe
Love
fall...
can jump him.
Yeah, Love can jump him. Caleb, I guess, can jump him because we don't know exactly
I think
what
he could fall anywhere from, like, 8 to 10.
He can fall in the Dak range.
Dak range is top 5.
No, the fuck it's not.
It is. But so he better show something. But he's the only person in the Mahomes era that has like actually like done anything in the AFC. So he gets that boost for me.
Other than Brady.
Well, yeah, but he wasn't in the. Yeah, he was for that 1 year. Yeah.
Yeah, he was like there for 2 years, but he played once.
Since Brady retired or left the AFC, and it's been Mahomes' conference, Burrow's the only person who's consistently been able to beat Mahomes and has actually made a Super Bowl as well.
And let's put up number 1.
Number 1.
I would like to say that is the actual fact on everybody's list. If you don't have him number 1,
your list is wrong.
It's not even that you're wrong. You're just like a hater at that point.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, obviously...
there's 2 facts. Daniel Jones at last is also a fact.
Yeah, that's probably true. This is anticlimactic, obviously. Everybody kind of knew Mahomes would be 1. Mahomes is one of the best of all time. And at this point, it's gone to, like... I've left the, God, I don't want the Chiefs to keep winning phase into the, I'm witnessing greatness, so I'm just going to sit back and enjoy it.
I've liked Mahomes since he came into the league. I've liked the Chiefs. I followed Mahomes, so, like, I root for the Chiefs because my team never makes the playoffs. So I root for the Chiefs. And the Lions now.
Yeah. Honestly, I only really root for Dallas, but I hate a lot of teams.
Like, a 3-peat is legendary, dude. That's not easy in the NFL.
I'm almost rooting for it to happen.
Yeah.
Because it's something that has never happened. I do find myself rooting for the Bears.
I don't.
I find myself rooting for the Bears.
That's also a thing because everybody wanted us to get rid of Kyler and go get Caleb.
Yeah.
I can't really root for them.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm still slightly surprised that you guys didn't. But your team also ended up being better.
A lot
to
better
where it would have
than
been tough to make it there.
Yeah. And we were in every game. Yeah. That's why.
And they beat the brakes off of Dallas. What a waste of money that was for me.
No, it wasn't. You're gonna watch Josh Dobbs run over whatever safety that was.
Yeah, that was a tough one. That was my brother's first ever Cowboy game, and that's what he got to witness.
Let's go.
For what it's worth to him, the first 2 games I went to, Dallas lost. So
yeah,
and then we won 2. The next 2 I went to, and then lost that one. So
I guess if Kyler Murray is on a team that Dallas is playing, just scheduled as a loss.
So.
He doesn't have to play. He just has to be on the roster.
It's nonsense, brother. It is nonsense. Well, that was exciting and bullshit.
Brandon, can't wait to see the clip on TikTok of me pissing him off.
Dude. To tell me that I'm currently riding a man.
I would love to actually go and back that up. It's just nothing that I've ever went to do because it's never crossed my mind if there's an argument of that.
Well, I can tell you all what I said was all factual.
I'm not saying you weren't, but I'm saying I could have given a better argument if I really went into it. It's just not something I've went into because I think it's a clear cut. Who's better.
Well, the clear argument is watch the game, see.
Well, yeah, if you watch
the talent of Herbert, but the backside of that is what has it led to?
Yeah.
And then it kind of just gets into a circular reasoning argument.
He could just be one of those quarterbacks. Who's a quarterback that just like a Dan Marino kind of. Dan Marino, I'm talking all the stats, no wins.
Yeah, or Phillip,
which
was literally on the Chargers.
Just gets a lot of stats, doesn't win. He could just be one of those.
My thing is, they went out and spent the money. They did the thing. They did we have a cheap quarterback, let's get a bunch of talent.
I think they just spent the money on the wrong people.
I think the only person they spent the money on wrongly was J.C. Jackson.
Okay, so they spent the money on the right people. They didn't use them correctly. That defense still sucked.
Their coach is awful.
They needed a good coach.
But my argument of Jason Garrett was just as bad as Staley, man. Whether you want to say it or not, Jason Garrett
was pretty bad. Staley was a little worse, but I think the difference also is just the system. They had Zeke in his prime. Zeke was the top 3 running back in the league.
Mm-hmm.
They had, what were the receivers?
Eckler was definitely argued to be a top 3 running
back.
But
he's more of a receiver than a runner. They're not going to stack the box against Eckler.
And yet the argument against Zeke was he's not really a receiver. Like, it's funny how all that shit
I just think that you had more people stacking the box against Zeke, give Dak more opportunity, stuff like that.
That's definitely true. But you still have to play people lower when you have a running back who's a receiving threat. It's not the exact same, but they can't just leave 2 safeties away because the running back's coming out.
Well, yeah, I know that. I'm not saying it's like night and day. I just think that there's a difference with having a dominant actual runner.
Yeah. And I don't think that there's not an argument for Herbert.
You just don't like that I said he clears?
Right. Like, if it's like...
I know that there's an argument stats-wise, of course. There's an argument stats-wise with Dak and everybody in the league, really. I use eye test a lot more than stats.
I like eye test too, but when that eye test leads to nothing... Like, if Herbert would have won that game against the Jags, I think it would be completely different. But to blow that kind of lead, like, sure, you can... be Megatron, but if Megatron always dropped the ball, then what does it matter?
Well, blown leads. Let's go back into history and look at the great players that have done that.
Yeah, there's plenty of them. And I think Herbert is great. And I think there's an argument that he is better than Dak. I just don't like the he clears. That's all I didn't like.
Like, I only have him 4 spots ahead, but it's just, I think...
I don't think anyone clears Dak except for Mahomes, and Mahomes just clears everyone.
For me, I think on my list, the only argument for Dak, like the highest I would put Dak on a list is 6.
And I think that's completely fine. I think the highest you can have him is 2, and the lowest you can have him is 8. Although with the emergence of Love, I'll probably knock that down to 9.
I might.
Anywhere from 2 to 9 is fair for Dak.
Well, so you think there's an argument for Stafford as well then?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's tougher with Stafford because he's so old, but...
He's just so elite. He's been for a long time.
But that's one of my biggest things with the narrative around Dak is he clears him. No, they don't. There's no factual basis that these... No, stop shaking your head. There's no factual basis that these people clear him. There are factual arguments that they are better than him.
I think there's factual arguments. Of course, you already said Mahomes. I think there's...
Mahomes clears everyone.
Burrow does... I think there's like statements like those type of people that clear him just because they've had the success he hasn't.
But then on the backside, Dak has done things Burrow hasn't. Like, Burrow always is getting hurt. Burrow doesn't have great regular season numbers.
I don't care.
His playoff run, he was carried by the defense.
He still
if you
won
look
the
back
games,
at it,
though. He still won.
His team won the games.
He scored when he had to. Like, with the game on the line.
That's what a system quarterback does.
I'm talking like 2 minutes.
Do you know how badly I would love it so much if I could go on and look at a Dak playoff run where he actually makes it to the Super Bowl, right? First of all, just that in general would be pretty sweet. But I would be absolutely gobsmacked if in all of those games the scores were 20-17.
I would too.
21-17. 23-20.
The Cowboys are a high-scoring offense. They're built like that.
And the Bengals that had Joe Mixon, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, and Joe Burrow aren't, and an offensive head coach. They're not supposed to be high-scoring.
No, they are.
Like, what standard are we holding here? But they weren't.
No, I know.
Their
I'm just saying the difference
great.
in standard is their defense was great, but
their defense was great in the playoffs.
Come down to it. You have 2 minutes. Do you want Burrow on the field or your defense? Burrow can throw 4 picks that game. I want Burrow on the field.
Well, to be fair, in the championship game against Mahomes, the Bengals defense was on the field against Mahomes first, and they caused a turnover, which gave Burrow the ball to go to the Super Bowl.
Yes, I'm not saying
your
that. I'm not saying
question there
that
kind of answered itself.
Oh, yeah, they got the choice to say who's on it first. They didn't get the choice. I'm saying they have the choice. They're going to pick Burrow every time.
Yeah, but when the choice was made for them, it worked out in their favor.
I think it would have worked out either way.
I would bet you $1 million that if it's in the Super Bowl, Kansas City, Dallas, Kansas City wins the toss, Kansas City's winning the game. I'd bet you $1 million.
I would too.
But Burrow gets the luxury of that's not the case.
Yeah, but...
And again, I think Burrow's better.
No, I know.
I just don't like the clearing nonsense.
With Burrow, though, he still did go score when they had to at the end of that game. It's not like his defense
they were essentially in field goal range. They were like the 50-yard line. They needed 20 yards.
True.
But hey, 20 yards is 20 yards.
True. Well, that defense is good, but Burrow's done that plenty of times. Yeah, just pull up the one game. He's done it plenty of times.
Yeah, no, but so is Dak.
I don't care about Dak.
But I'm
talking about Burrow.
But the argument that you're trying to make is that Burrow clears, and there's no factual.
No,
argument
I'm not
for
saying clears. I'm just saying that I don't think there's an argument he's above Burrow. That's what I said.
I can respect that.
I didn't say he clears. I said that I don't think there's an argument.
I can respect that. I disagree with it, but I can respect it. I just can't respect the clearing stuff unless you say Patrick Mahomes clears Dak. True. Fact check true. He
Other
clears
than that,
everybody.
The only people I don't have in my mind, you can't argue Dak is better is Burrow, Allen, Stroud, and Herbert. In my eyes.
I can respect that. As long as you don't say that anyone except Mahomes clears him, I can respect anything about it.
Clears is just in my vocabulary.
Yeah.
So it just
to me, clears is like clearly better. Like nobody can make an argument that is even true to say he's better. Like if you're saying he's better, you're just a moron.
Yeah, it's more in my opinion. He clears. There's no argument.
Nope, don't like it. We're back to it now. Fuck your opinion.
Okay.
I thought we were getting to a good spot, but we're.
I said the same thing. I just said the word clears and he hates.
I don't like the clears word. Take it back.
That guy sucks.
He does suck. Tua. Mm-hmm. I was zooming in on Tua. All right, how long have we been going?
Hour and a half.
An hour and 5 minutes.
Holy shit!
Only
and we
an
spent
hour 5.
We spent most of the show on the end. We kind of flew through the beginning stuff.
Yeah.
All right. I think to sum up the show, Devin's obviously wrong.
Oh, we have to tell him about the next 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah. How many weeks?
3 or 4.
For the next 3 or 4 weeks, we are not going to be in our normal setup. We're going to be doing a virtual pod until the NFL season starts. And once the NFL season begins to roll, we'll be back in our normal studio. Our first show will be the Wednesday before, or the Thursday of the opening game.
What is the opening game again?
Chiefs Ravens?
I think so.
So,
but I will be keeping track of, because we're going to make predictions every week on every game. I'll be keeping track of the winners and losers, and at the end, loser has to do something winner says.
That's true. Oh.
We also have our bets. We have 2 bets, right?
Yeah, I don't remember what they are.
I know mine was the Jets will have over 9.5, and I bet yes. We had another one though. We'll try.
Probably something Cardinals related.
No, I don't think it was. But we'll figure that out later. Maybe we can give Brandon like $15 to go through every pod. And
when is week 1? Like when is the Thursday game?
It's like right when 2K comes out. It's like the 7th or 8th or something.
September 4th.
September 4th.
The week before.
So our first.
5th. I'm sorry.
September 5th. Our first pod back in the normal studio will be September 5th. We're going to be posting pods every week up until that point. At least that's the plan.
Well, we won't miss weeks because it's virtual. It's kind of hard to miss virtual.
Yeah, that's true. But starting September 5th at 2 p.m., Transition Takes will be going on. And that show will obviously be covering the first week of the NFL.
And he's going to prove why he's going to win MVP.
Who?
11.
Kyler's not winning MVP. Give me any amount of money, I'll place the bet. I can't say that.
No, I can't do that just because it's not like something
possible.
No, it's possible. It's just not very probable.
Yeah, those are the bets that pay though.
Yeah.
And that's how you end up with no money.
But our bets would be an even bet. It wouldn't be a plus 50.
Yeah, that's so ridiculous.
You know what I'm saying? Like.
Although if I went to bet like Kyler does not win MVP, my odds would be like negative.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
because it's like no way. So the even money on my side's actually pretty good, but the even money on your side's also pretty bad.
It's really bad, because I'm not even if I'm gonna give you $20 for the bet, might as well put it. No, I can't do that. Might as well tell you, strongly advise you to put $20 on,
and then I would just keep the money.
All right. Oh, okay.
I hope you guys all enjoyed this pod. I had fun. Sorry we missed last week. Stuff happens. But that was 32 through 1, and the factual list was the one with graphics. That is.
No.
Graphics mean more. All right, we're not getting back into it.
No, I am. I had the factual list.
But that's so perfect. Dak is number 4, and he's ranked 4. That's so perfect.
It's like me saying Kyler's number 1 because he wears 1.
I like that.
Okay. I'll let you put Dak wherever you want if you let me put Kyler at 1.
All right, I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please like, subscribe, comment, turn the notifications on, and as always, send the video to your mom. Peace.
Peace.